Hey everybody, welcome to What the Flick. I'm Matt, that's Alonzo, that's Christy. They saw Isle of Dogs. I brought my own dog, you can hear her off screen. So they saw the movie, I didn't, they're gonna talk about it.
Yes.
So Wes Anderson returns to stop motion animation after Fantastic Mr. Fox. This one is also about canines. It's Japan in the future, and a city in Japan has decided they're going to exile all of their dogs to this island of trash because of some canine disease that is going around. A young boy sets out to find his guard dog, and in so doing helps to foment the dog revolution to get them back to Japan. Take a look.
We get the idea. You're looking for your lost dog Spots. Does anybody know him?
No. I've lost all of my pride.
Spots, if he's alive, may very well be living even at this moment as a captive prisoner.
Somebody is up to something. Will you help him? The little pilot.
Why should I?
Because he's a 12-year-old boy. Dogs love those.
We'll find him.
So I love the look of this. I love the energy of it. I love the voice cast. It's very much a Wes Anderson movie in every way, you know, in terms of the tone of it, in terms of the meticulous attention to detail, the obsessiveness about it. You know, every little thing is perfect. The words on the screen explaining things,
Right.
the variety of different kinds of voices in here to tell the story.
The retro technology.
Right, it's very old-fashioned. So, and I'm amazed by how much time and effort it must take. That's our dog Sabrina here is
Snort her way
not
through it.
impressed by what we're talking about here. But it's I recognize that for a lot of the folks who might see this, it will be thematically problematic.
Yeah, but before we get to that,
Yeah.
I just think as a movie, I mean, yeah, you're right. You look at it and you know it's a Wes Anderson movie. There's no mistaking his stuff for other things. But amidst the craft and the art direction that he brings, I generally respond emotionally. I care about those characters and I believe in them even if they are stylized people living in a stylized universe. And my favorite of his movies is Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Is
I
it?
think, yeah, because I feel like he's one of those filmmakers who wants to just sort of create dioramas anyway, so he might as well just do real ones. And you know, I really respond to that film. I think it's funny and it's sad, and there's a lot that I love about it. And this one did not make me feel anything. I really felt sort of distanced from it. I was sort of watching the artifice of it, but never really responding to the characters. And then you get into the whole weirdness of like, white guy makes this movie about Japan where the adults speak Japanese, where the dogs speak American English, and there's a translator, but it's voiced by an American actress and not by a Japanese actress. And there's the one white character in the movie who's an exchange student, winds up being a big motor of the plot, which smacks of weird sort of white savior
She's the
stuff.
savior, yeah. Greta Gerwig as white savior.
Yeah,
yes.
and so I mean that's a conversation to have, and some people are going to have problems with it, and other people won't, and that's fine. And I'm glad the conversation is happening, and I'm not even sure myself how much that has to do with why I'm lukewarm on the movie, as much as I just didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't emotionally respond to it, and I do love dogs, and so you know, this is my kind of story, and it just I didn't really. It didn't grab my heart.
It didn't grab my heart, but I was constantly engaged. I was never bored. I was always into it. I love the voice cast. It's a lot of folks who are in a lot of his movies. Bill Murray, Jeff Goldblum,
Ed Norton, Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, Willem Dafoe, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who's Willem Dafoe?
He's the leader. He's the leader of the kind of feral dog gang.
It's Bryan Cranston.
No, Bryan Cranston is the hero of the movie. The one they find on the far island.
That's Harvey Keitel.
Willem Dafoe's in there somewhere. I swear to God.
It's a really good voice cast. So I was just constantly into it. But yeah, I was not moved by it. But I also was not moved by Darjeeling Limited. I was not moved by. I was moved by Moonrise Kingdom.
Yeah, Darjeeling
and
Limited, Steve Zissou are like my lesser favorites. And this is down there with those
This is down
for me.
there with me as well in terms of, yes, the storytelling, whatever. But as far as the will soon be, I'm sure, controversial cultural appropriation going on here, I just have to assume that he meant well. I have to assume there's great love for the culture and great love for a variety of elements of it. You know, the Alexander Desplat score is amazing.
And there are a ton of like Kurosawa shout outs, and there's a lot of, this movie isn't just sort of Japanese on the surface. Like he's working out a lot of Japan things, but that was a thing with, you know, Darjeeling Limited. Like, yes, that's great. You've seen a lot of, you know, Satyajit Ray movies, but you're also being this weird colonial tourists and sending these 3 white narcissists through India, you know.
But Atari, the 12-year-old nephew of the mayor, is the hero of the thing.
And
right?
he's
very
Japanese,
brave, and he's our through line for this, you know. We're seeing him through the dog's eyes, but he's like the engine for the plot, more so than Greta Gerwig is even. So, and he's voiced by a Japanese actor. I mean, is it problematic that the Japanese is not subtitled? Is it problematic? Well, some of it is here and there. But a lot of it's interpreted by Frances McDormand.
Right. And
so
again,
is that problematic?
Look,
is that for us to say?
I don't even know. But I think, again, I will say there's a larger conversation to be had about it, and it should be had, and people are going to take different things away from it. But I think even if you take that off the table, this for me is a lesser Wes Anderson movie.
I enjoyed it very much. Which I realize is not film criticism, but no, but I had a blast, and I'm blown away always by the texture and the care and the teamwork that goes into it, and it makes it look effortless, but also clearly obsessed over.
I liked the pop-up book, you know, more than the movie. You know, I liked all the steps that went into making it. You know, looking at it is frequently delightful, but it didn't engage me as a story.
All right, it's whimsical.
Oh, it is.
But it's also really dark.
Well, yeah,
I mean,
it has its grim moments for sure.
Is it an allegory about racism? They're sending all the dogs off. Is it about Japanese internment camps? They're sending all the dogs off to an island with trash?
And it's about corporatism, because the dogs are really more of a distraction about this other thing that they want to have happen. So it's an immigration parable. It's a lot of things. You can read a lot of things into it, but that doesn't necessarily make it, you know, a moving narrative.
It is ambitious.
For sure.
So I'm saying 8.
I said 6. I mean, the craft work is certainly there.
Craft work, isn't it?
The craft work is there, but it left me cold.
All right, our number is a 7. Is at 92% on the tomato meter. Let us know what you think when you see it, because there's definitely a lot to chew over here. We don't just mean doggy treats. Bye.
Right, if you can find this one.
Oh, right, it's limited release. Yeah.
But it's
go wider.
it's expanding in April.
Okay.
So yeah.
So please see it. Bye.